Hello everyone, how are you today? You're welcome to today's lesson on literature. In the last literature class, some of you learned about literature itself and characteristics or features of literature, while others did some questions on revision on figures of speech. Today we will be looking at more figures of speech, and we're going to look at just 3. At the end of the lesson, you should be able to describe the figures of speech, and you should be able to give appropriate examples of each. Today we're looking at repetition, rhetorical questions, and rhymes. We're going to start with repetition. When we use repetition when writing, for instance, when writing a poem, the poet uses repetition in order to repeat or lay emphasis on particular words in that poem. I repeat, the poet uses some words repeatedly to lay emphasis on those words. Let's look at an example. I have here a poem by R.E. Anto titled Little Child. Let's read along. It says, "Little child, what ails thee in a world so tiny? Why are thy sweet lips crossed, thy pearly eyes so dim? And why do tears now firm, thy lashes long?" Did you notice the use of repetition in this poem? Look at it closely. Are there any words that the poet used often? Yes, the poet used thy. Can you see thy used repeatedly? Yes, and so he uses thy to lay emphasis on the fact that he is talking about someone else, not himself. So repetition helps a poet to bring out more emphasis and lay more emphasis on what he or she is trying to say. The next figure of speech we will be talking about is rhetorical questions. Rhetorical questions are those questions that are used by a speaker, not necessarily to demand a reply, but just to lay emphasis on something as well. So emphasis is usually put on rhetorical questions, that is, they give us more meaning. Let's look at this example. Can anyone say he is not a sinner? Can anyone say he is not a sinner? The person speaking might not demand a response. However, he or she is trying to say something. What do you think he's trying to say? He's trying to say that all of us are sinners, right? Yes. So when he says, can anyone say he's not a sinner? He's saying that we all are sinners. Let's look at another example. Why are we wasting all our time here? Why are we wasting all our time here? What is the speaker trying to say? He isn't asking a question that demands an answer. He's just saying it, perhaps because his time is being wasted. He feels that he's wasting precious time, and that's why he says, why are we wasting all our time here? So rhetorical questions are questions that do not need an obvious answer, but help the listeners to think about what is being said. The last figure of speech we're going to look at today is rhymes. When we talk about rhymes, we're talking about the similarity of sounds. Similarity of sounds at the end of the lines of a poem. Let's look at this poem. It says, "The year is withering, the wind blows down the leaves, men stand under eaves." Did you notice the use of rhymes at the end of the lines of the poem? Let's look at the poem closely. Which words sound alike? Of course, leaves and eaves. right? So when we use rhymes in a poem, they help the poem form. Your assignment is to write your own poem. Make sure you have rhymes and repetition.